Good morning, everyone. Thank you for attending. As some of you may know, my name is Cameron. I work here for the university, and today I'm going to be presenting on my plan for Grand Canyon University, and we're calling this our Financial Aid Process Improvement Project. Without any further introduction, let's go ahead and get started and jump right into this. So we take a look at the issue that we have here as a university. GCU has seen tremendous success. We're continuing to grow. We're continuing to do well. But there is a period of time within this process for our online department here at GCU, our online admissions, that needs to be recognized, that needs to be examined. We see that there is a poor transition period from when a student is accepted into the university, we receive their financial aid packaging, and between that point of them receiving their financial aid and actually being registered for class, there is a poor transition period in there that we're going to need to address in order to improve the overall service process plan that we have here in place. We're losing potential students. This is students that will be enrolling here at the university, growing our university, growing our mission and our vision. We're losing on these potential students because of this break in our process plan, and we're creating longer registration timelines, missed deadlines for both our Office of Financial Aid and our admissions team. And then really there's no unison between our admissions reps and the finance counselors. If there is, it's not exactly where it needs to be, and it's something that needs to be addressed, okay? Who does this affect? Overall, there's four main stakeholders that are being affected by this potential plan to change our process plan. Okay, the first one would be Super Team 6, the division that I work with, our online admissions team. Super Team 6, the admissions reps and finance counselors involved there. We have our Super Team 6 managers, both from the admissions and finance side as well. We have our director, Jordan Job, and then we have our vice president of admissions as well, who is Pete, okay? So as we take a look at these stakeholders, these are who are going to be affected by this process plan adjustment, and each stakeholder plays an important role, and we'll take a look a little bit more in depth at what that looks like later on in this presentation. So why does this matter? Well, when we take a look at the GCU website, let's just go there, where every potential student is looking to go when they first are exploring GCU and what we have to offer. We see that on our website, we have it stated GCU is growing rapidly with plans for continued expansion. We're a university that's gaining a lot of success, a lot of headlines for our rapid success and our rapid enrollment, how we've grown in both our campus and our online environment. So if we want to continue to expand, I think we've looked at projected numbers in our all-employee meetings of wanting to grow our online division specifically to over 100,000 students by the year 2022. If we're going to continue to grow another 20,000 students online, make the 20% increase in enrollment over the next 4 years, we have to take a look at our process and see what needs to change in order to help meet that demand or to meet that expectation that we're setting for ourselves. And when we take a look at the university and our mission, our mission and vision overall, we see that our vision is to create students and create individuals who go out and make an impact, not just a local impact, but a global impact. And the way that we do that is by enrolling more students, is getting more students into our university so that we can prepare them, send them out as ambassadors for the university to make that impact that we're looking to do. So this is why it matters, and this is why it's important to us as a university, because we want to expand. We want to make global and local impact individuals, and the only way to do that is to enroll more people. And when we enroll more people, not only do we do that, but we also are going to create more revenue for the university so that we can continue to put that back into the university and continue to make the necessary strides forward like we've been doing over the past decade. Okay, how do we fix this issue? Now, when we take a look at my plan, we'll have an exact timeline that I'll take a look at here in just a minute that'll detail these different steps. But there's four things that I really think that are necessary in order to fix this issue in the financial aid process plan. Okay, the first one being that we need better financial aid training for our admissions reps. Too often, our admissions reps are focused on rapport and getting to know the student that they bypass the tough conversations, and they don't know enough about the financial aid process, where they're not preparing students enough when they speak with their financial aid counselor. So our financial aid training for admissions reps needs to step up. We need better relationships being built between our representatives, our admissions reps, and our finance counselors. There needs to be more unison in there so that they work together to service our students well. We also need to reduce the finance counselors' student databases. So that would include hiring more finance counselors to take on the role so that we can then disperse student databases, or the database of students from counselors there, so that they're having less students that they're having to work with, can focus a little more on the rapport building themselves, and can dig deep with students, answer questions, and service well. As a university, that has to be one of our main concerns, is no matter what we're doing in our process, throughout the online admissions process planning specifically, we have to make sure that we're servicing students well. That has to be our number one concern. I believe that reducing the finance counselor student database, allowing them to focus more on the students that they have, will better impact this servicing that we want to see done. And also we want to build trust throughout this process, because sometimes financial aid, whether we know everything or not, whether we can speak to everything or not, there is going to be a process with that. Some things are out of our control. So we need to be able to build the necessary trust that students need in order to help them transition from being and receiving financial aid to actually being registered for class. Okay, here's the timeline that I was talking about. So phase one would look something like this. It's going to be the financial aid training that I was speaking about for our admissions reps, okay? They're going to be able to understand a little bit more about the financial aid processes as a whole. We're looking at 2 to 3 weeks worth of training. Actually 3 weeks worth of training 3 times a week for an hour at a time. Obviously, their number one goal still has to be to call potential students. But for 3 weeks, for 3 days out of the week, and for 1 hour, they're going to be having a better understanding of financial aid and how to speak to that, so that they're prepping students for financial aid before they speak to their financial aid counselor. We're also going to have building trust and rapport building training for our finance counselors. So this will look the same exact way: 3 times a week, 3 days out of the week for 3 weeks for 1 hour each of those 3 days a week. Now, this is going to be a great opportunity for them to learn how to not just speak to the specifics of financial aid, but also be able to speak to how to build a relationship, how to build their trust while they're doing this whole process, okay? So that's going to be phase one, a 3-week phase. Phase two, we're going to be hiring more, about 15% more financial counselors per division. Obviously, right now we're focusing on Super Team 6, so that'll be our division. So we're going to hire about 15% more. Right now, that would look between the 16 counselors that we have total. We'll be looking at about 3. That would be a safe number. Just 3 more people to bring onto the team in order to disperse the student database, give our counselors more focus on speaking with the students and working with the students that they have, okay? And we'll distribute the students between counselors there. That'll be phase 2. Phase 3 will be the development and execution of our joint partnership strategy. So this is when we kind of start to put all of the process into place, kind of our trial run with that. So I say joint partnership strategy, say that 3 times fast, because this is where we are now assimilating not just the admissions rep handing off the baton to the counselor, the finance counselor, and them having to go over finances and it be a whole new thing, but it's now the process of our admissions reps working specifically and prepping students for financial aid. And now there's a smooth transition where it's not from one counselor to the other. It's now one counselor kind of blending in with another counselor, where we have side-by-side counseling working together in order to service our students. Now our finance counselors can focus more on the rapport building and understanding that we want to build trust with our students. We want this to be a smooth transition for them. And so now we can start this trial run of our joint partnership strategy, the new process plan specifically in place, okay? And after phase 4, we'll have weekly reviews, including at the end of a 6-week process of our trial run in phase 3, we'll have a joint meeting between major stakeholders, like our managers for Super Team 6, our director, Jordan, and possibly, if he's available, our VP of admissions as well, Pete. Okay, so that's what the phase process timeline looks like there. Now, obviously, communication is going to be key. The ones that are most affected by this are going to be our Super Team 6 admissions counselors and finance counselors, right? Because they're the ones that are doing this work. This is the one that is most affected with the change, okay? The other group that is affected by this is our managers. They are going to be the ones, the managers are going to be the hands and feet of this whole project. They're going to be the ones that work specifically with me, work specifically with our director, Jordan, as stated before, and help us kind of relay the vision and of what this project's going to look like and the changes that are going to happen. They're going to be doing a lot of the training for that first phase 1 of our project. Okay, they're going to be the hands and feet. So these are the ones that are going to be affected the most. So our communication is going to be almost on the daily, as far as prepping our managers to be able to train, as far as answering questions and servicing ideas from our Super Team 6 finance counselors and admissions reps. So communication with them is going to be almost on the daily, like I said. Now, our director, Jordan and I are going to be speaking specifically about this a lot at the beginning, making sure that he feels comfortable with this change that we would be implementing in place. He's going to be the one that's going to give the approval, as he is the director of Super Team 6 as a whole. So I'm going to be reporting to him weekly, kind of giving weekly updates, as he has a lot that he's overseeing. I'll be kind of letting him know what's going on there. And then we have those who are affected very little as far as communication goes. Our VP, Pete, obviously, Jordan is going to report to Pete of the changes. If Pete has any major concerns, he will let Jordan know right away. But we're going to be letting him know kind of what's going on a bi-weekly to even monthly process as this project goes along. Just kind of sharing the successes, hopefully, of what's happening here and allowing him to see those as they go along. Okay. So like I said, approval must come from the director. So Jordan and I are going to work closely towards the beginning and then report as needed with him. Our managers will be on board and they will help share the vision. As I said, they're going to be the focal point of this project. I will hold meetings. So I said communication will be daily, but I will be holding meetings with our managers 2 times a week. Just short meetings, about 30 minutes, bouncing new ideas off of them, wanting to hear their thoughts, the feedback that they're getting from their counselors and their admissions reps, and see how we can make adjustments on the fly as necessary. Okay, communication throughout the process, training, and then looking to managers for help is how we are going to be successful moving forward, as I've already stated. Okay, with that being said, that concludes our presentation for today. I look forward to getting to work with you and helping service students here for the online admissions at Grand Canyon University more effectively. I really believe more than anything that with this process in place and the improvements that we will be making, we will see a dramatic increase in the overall enrollment. We can compare that, the way that we'll be able to succeed, to kind of to judge and to use metrics to see how our overall process change can be viewed, will be by comparing numbers of enrollment from years past to the current months that we're using with this new project and plan in place. So that's kind of how it will be using to judge. But I believe that by shortening and creating more unison in the process, specifically between when a student receives financial aid and when they're registered for class, that whole getting them cleared from verifications, getting them packaged, all that will dramatically increase the overall enrollment here at the university and allow us to continue to grow, allow us to continue to make an outreach with those that were the students that we're working with and make the global impact like our vision and mission states. So at this time, if there's any questions, please feel free to come see me. I'd be happy to service any questions that you have. I look forward to working with each of you directly and helping this new project improvement plan come into place. Thank you.